So good morning, everyone. My name is Wenxi Liao. I'm a PhD candidate under the supervision of Professor Sean Thomas and Professor Jennifer Drake. So in today's presentation, I will talk about the first chapter of my PhD thesis, Biochar effect on plant performance and discharge quality on green roofs. So first of all, I will quickly go over the outline of the presentation. So I will start with some motivations and research gaps and introduce my research question. Then I will discuss the materials and method we used and discuss the major findings in this project. Lastly, I will emphasize our conclusions and suggest some future research directions. So first of all, just to briefly introduce green roofs. So green roofs are roof systems with vegetation planted on designed substrate, and it can provide ecological and hydrological benefits, such as enhancing biodiversity and improving stormwater management. And moreover, it can provide some additional ecosystem services, including increasing energy efficiency and improving air quality. However, there are two major challenges associated with green roof ecological and hydrological performance. First, the plant growth conditions on rooftops are harsh and few plants can survive on roof systems. Second, green roofs can act as a source or sink for pollutants, depending on green roof substrate and plant performance. Therefore, biochar comes into our mind. As introduced by Melanie as well, so biochar is a carbon-rich product produced by pyrolyzing biomass under oxygen-limited conditions. It is used as a soil amendment because it has high water retention capacity, strong nutrient sorption ability, low bulk density, and it is recalcitrant, which means it essentially doesn't decompose. So due to those benefits, studies have started to look into biochar application on green roofs. Research has found that biochar can increase the stormwater retention, and some of the water retained by biochar can be available for plant growth. And in addition, biochar can improve the discharge quality by sorbing some metals, and it can also provide the nutrients to plants directly and indirectly. And moreover, biochar application can potentially reduce the building load and slow down the substrate decomposition on green roofs. However, although biochar applications can have benefits, the biochar positive effects on hydrological and vegetation performance on green roofs are not guaranteed, and the conventional biochar is susceptible to wind and water losses on green roofs. Therefore, to tackle those challenges, in this project, we investigated how do biochar granulation and particle size influence the plant performance and discharge quality on green roofs. So in the next few slides, I will talk about the method used in this research. As shown in the figure, we used the granulated and conventional biochars, and they were sieved into 4 and 5 particle size ranges respectively. And then the biochars were applied to a typical green roof substrate that follows the FLL guideline. And 2 parallel experiments on plant response and leach quality were run in this project. The plant response experiment was performed in the greenhouse with a total of 80 pots of agastache feniculin grown for over 3 months. And plant performance was assessed by measuring growth indicators such as leaf area, plant biomass, chlorophyll content, and so on. And regarding the leach quality, the discharge was collected at the beginning and at the end of the experiment and was analyzed for water quality, such as nutrient concentrations and total suspended solids. Next, I'll talk about the major findings in this research, starting with the plant responses. So first, we found that the plants that grown with the granulated biochars have significantly higher plant leaf area than those grown with the conventional biochars. Second, the medium-sized granulated biochars showed the strongest positive effect on the plant leaf area development. A significant trend was also observed for the plant total biomass. So the granulated biochar significantly increased the plant biomass, while the conventional biochar in this study decreased the plant biomass. Then we compared the biochar processing method effect for each particle size ranges we test, and this trend was found for all the particle size ranges we tested. And in terms of the discharge quality, I will focus on the total nitrogen and dissolved phosphor, which are the major water pollution concerns. First, we found that the total nitrogen concentrations in discharge decreased over time. And in the first flush, which is indicated in dark gray, the pots with the conventional biochars had slightly lower total nitrogen leaching than those with the granulated biochars. While in the last flush, which is indicated in light gray, conventional biochars significantly reduced the leaching of the total nitrogen, and the large-sized conventional biochar worked the best in reducing the total nitrogen leaching. So moving to the leaching of dissolved phosphor, we observed that the dissolved phosphor concentration in discharge also decreased over time. And in the first flush, the conventional and granulated biochars both decreased the leaching of the dissolved phosphor. However, in the last flush, the pots with the granulated biochars had higher concentrations of the dissolved phosphor in discharge than the control. And there are a few reasons that can explain our findings. So regarding the plant responses, biochar processing method influenced the biochar chemical and physical properties, which affected the plant growth, such as the plant growth conditions, such as the plant nutrients and water availability. And moreover, the biochar particle size and shape can affect the substrate structure and physical properties, such as the substrate water retention capacity and the substrate porosity. With regard to the discharge quality, the nutrient concentrations in discharge decreased over time due to the consistent leaching and plant nutrient uptake. And in addition, substrate nutrient retention and release process, a biochar processing method can influence the substrate nutrient retention and release process, which further affected the discharge quality. So just to sum up, in this project, we found that the granulated biochars, which have been introduced mainly as a means to reduce the wind and water erosions of biochar particles, generally enhance the plant performance when applied to green roof substrates. And moreover, the medium-sized biochar showed the strongest positive effect on plant growth. And regarding the discharge quality, we observed that the nutrient concentrations in discharge decreased over time, and the conventional biochar, particularly those in large particle size, generally reduced the nutrient leaching. So for the future research, we suggest more studies to investigate biochar manipulation and its impact on plant growth and nutrient leaching on green roofs, and also the effect of the biochar manipulation on different common green roof species, such as the sedum species, need to be studied. And last but not the least, I would like to thank Professor Thomas and Professor Drake for their supervision, and thank my lab members for their support. And here are the references for my presentation. And thank you all for listening. And are there any questions?